Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you are well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more relationship stories. If you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting that like, that subscribe, maybe that notification bell too, and let's crack straight on with today's first story. Now today's first story comes from Miserable Wife. Titled 31 Female. Because of my husband's 42 male actions, I'm losing my friends and family. And as always, our relationship stories do come with an update. We have been married for almost 10 years and have 2 children together. Over the past few years, my friends and family members have distanced themselves from us, to the point where some will no longer spend time with us. I know that my husband can be very rude and controlling, e.g. dictating where everyone sits when we're out at dinner with friends, playing only his music when we have people over at our house, picking fights with me in public, etc. And I can understand them not wanting to spend time socially with him. However, he will not let me go and spend time with them on my own. He is quite jealous of me. I asked my sister, 35 female, about this and she told me some rather disturbing things. Namely that after her husband and mine had an argument, my husband had then started spreading rumours that her SO had interfered with our children. He then contacted her directly and implied that her husband was cheating on her. What the hell? Neither of these things have any basis in truth. One of my other friends recently told me that my husband told them I cheated on him all the time. They figured it was lies but felt uncomfortable talking to me about it. After I asked him why he would say that, he had a heated argument with them and screamed at them for interfering in his marriage. He picks fights with me when we're visiting with friends, making it awkward for everyone, and has previously abandoned me at others' houses because he was angry. All of this adds up to them not wanting to spend time with him, but he makes it very difficult for me to maintain those friendships due to his jealousy. There is more, but I don't know how much information to provide. Please ask me if you have any questions. And there is like a mini update to this one, some relevant comments, then a further update as well. So I think we'll go to the mini update first, and says, I just spoke with my sister and apologized for what my husband has said. As difficult as it was to get out, I told her that I was really unhappy and didn't know if I should stay with him. She told me that while she was not comfortable spending any time around him, she would always be there for me no matter what I decided. I am welcome in her house at any time. She also said that if I do decide to leave, she would love to have us stay with her while I sort things out. And when I asked her what she thought I should do, she said she couldn't tell me, but that I should think about things as though I was a close friend talking to myself. I don't know if that makes sense in writing it, but I hope you get the idea. Right now, I don't know what to do, and thinking through not only this, but other things he says and does, I am quite shattered. I feel sick. I don't know how I'll be able to handle my emotions when he gets home. The fact that he's spreading rumours, real horrible rumours that could cause an immense amount of trouble, jealous of you, and being very controlling, even like when you're in a large friend group, telling where people where they have to sit, will only play his music, and this is the way he's acting, dictating to people. And he's even gone as far as abandoning you at other houses when he gets angry, and like calling you out in front of friend groups like that, not having like a private discussion, but calling you out in front of other people. I gotta say, is this someone that you really want to be with? And it sounds like it's going down that road in the story at the moment. And we'll find out in the update in a minute. But we're going to cover a couple of comments, then read the relevant replies to those, and then move on to the update. A deleted user says, sounds like you need a divorce. He's controlling your life in a way that you obviously don't want. Go seek help from a professional or confront him about these things yourself. Infernal Wedgie says, he's emotionally abusive. No one likes him, including you. You want your kids to learn that abuse is the normal way to conduct a marriage. No, you don't. Open your own bank account, lawyer up, file for divorce. Generous Heart says, eventually the effort to maintain these community ties will become too exhausting and you'll let them go. When that happens, he'll be your only source of support and love. You won't feel that you have any choice but to be obedient and please him, because without him, your world will crumble. If that's not the kind of future you want, get out now. And one more comment from a deleted user who says, so I bet $10,000 to pull a Romney that your friends and sister think you're in an emotionally abusive relationship. The anger, the lying, trying to drive people away. They know. If you search through this subreddit, you can read what almost everyone agrees will happen if they tell you that and try to get you to leave. If you aren't ready to admit it, there is a very good chance you'll deny it. Tell your husband what they said and they will be cut off from your life. It's embarrassing. You don't want to tell people. Your husband will certainly not want you to talk to them if they know. They won't be able to offer the little support they can right now. They are waiting. They're trying to stick it out for your sake, to give you what support they can and be there for you. Because if you weren't involved, they would have stopped talking to your husband years ago. He's a manipulative, lying arsehole. He attempted to poison your sister's marriage with accusations of cheating. She certainly isn't doing anything for his sake. It's all for you. No one can force you to leave. Trying to force you will almost certainly fail. My advice to people in your sisters' and friends' position is almost always to wait until the person asks for help, to accept the frustration and pain of watching this happen. Because trying to force someone to leave is almost impossible. This advice sadly does leave people in your situation feeling almost abandoned, because surely your sister or friends would have said something, offered to help you, given you advice, told you to leave, done an intervention style thing. They would have done something, right? Maybe it's not as bad as you think because no one is telling you it's bad. They're just waiting and watching it happen. Maybe they don't care. I think they care. I think they put up with your husband's bullshit, lying and manipulating to keep you in their lives, to support you if you decide to leave, to be there for you. I bet if you call your sister, she'd be thrilled to help you. She'd tell you she's thought he was abusive for years, but didn't know how to approach you about it, that she's been waiting for you to ask so she could help you. I would be very surprised if she told you she didn't care. If she didn't care, I think she would have cut you off years ago and stopped putting up with your husband's bullshit, especially when he accused her of cheating and tried to ruin her marriage. Now we're going to move on to the relevant comments from OP. So, relevant comments. Commenter suggests couples therapy. I've raised this issue a few times now, and his response is along the lines of, I only said/did this because. He refused counselling even though I begged him to attend with me. It feels like he simply doesn't care I'm losing friends, and when I show that it's upsetting me, he criticizes them and tries to convince me that I'm better off without them. I'm scared of him and what it might spark if I leave and being on my own. That sounds pathetic even to me, but I've never lived on my own or been responsible for everything myself. I moved in with my husband directly from my parents' house, and it wouldn't be so scary if it were just me, but I have my children to care for, and at present I work in our business. I would essentially be walking away from my job as well as my husband, but I also didn't expect such an overwhelming chorus of leave him, so I'm a little shaken right now. Commenters ask if OP can talk to anyone in her life or ask for help. I think I could talk to my sister. We've always been close. I'm ashamed and embarrassed by what my husband said about her husband. He doesn't know. I hope that she told me what he had said. Most of my friends have gotten married in the last few years, so no divorcees there, but none of them would judge me, I think, and although I don't see my parents that often, I know they would give me their support. They do live a few hours away though. And all of those relevant comments that from that last large comment we read where, trying to separate you from your friends, and in that very first comment it said he's trying to convince you that you're better off without them. And it's crazy how the mind works, isn't it? Everyone in the comment section seeing the signs there, but obviously OP isn't, because they've been stuck in the situation, and they've relied on this person ever since they moved out of their parents' house and lived with them for all this time, so they don't know any different. And this post is the wake up that they may potentially need, which we're going to find out in the update right now. So, update. Well, it took about a month to finally tell him that I was done. I was leaving, but I did it. Another month before I was able to move out properly, but I stuck to my decision, and here I am 8.5 months later. I struggle a lot with the things he has/is putting me through, but my friends and family have been fantastic support. One thing that stuck out in all of this was his reaction when I first told him that I wanted to leave. He broke down, told me how sorry he was, he would change, he loved me, etc. And I had some hope that things would improve. The next morning, he started the most god-awful fight, screaming at me for even thinking of leaving him. How could I do that to him? How he would never trust me with his heart again, and all kinds of other bullshit. He started throwing things, ripped the curtains down, drank about half a bottle of vodka, and I just left. All I could think was how his reaction was all about him. This kind of crap continued for the next couple of weeks. I slept in the spare room, but would wake up to him snuggling against me. He kept buying me perfume and flowers, but then would smash something or scream at me in front of the kids. He didn't lay a hand on me, but I think there were times where he was close to it. Oh, and then he overdosed on some anti-anxiety medication his doctor had prescribed, so I called an ambulance and let them take him to hospital, which meant that I didn't care at all apparently. His new girlfriend moved in within weeks of me moving out. That was a surprise. I honestly don't know if he cheated on me, but he had her lined up pretty quickly. Hasn't stopped him from sending me about 1 million messages demanding that we work on our marriage. At the same time, he spread lies about how I left him for another man, or he dumped me because I cheated on him. So many lies I don't know how he keeps track of them all. I just don't reply to him or his friends anymore. It will be another few months before I can file for divorce. We have to be separated for 12 months first, but I'm happier. My days are peaceful, aside from the nasty messages I get, and my friends are wonderful. I've been in counselling, which has helped me some, but to be honest, I think just being away from him has been the best thing for me. I don't know how the property settlement will end up. He keeps making threats to bankrupt us, which I doubt he would do, but still. The court system here is pretty fair apparently, so I just give it to my solicitor. It's too much stress for me to try and deal with. My children are adjusting slowly. They are with me almost all the time. When we were going through the breakup month, my ex was pretty horrible in front of them, so it will take time for them to heal, but we will be okay. Got to say, that update set me off on the very first paragraph to hear, that they finally got out of an abusive relationship and their friends and family came together to support them. Whew-wee. After reading one of those relevant comments where you said you felt ashamed and embarrassed by what your husband said about her husband and, you felt trapped in this situation, to then read that update was just amazing. And I know you're not out of the woods yet in your mental health and your children and stuff like that, but this is just a huge bloody positive in my books. And one day I hope we do get a further update to see how their life has improved, and it will improve. And I do wonder what the ex is going to be up to. Are they going to continue to harass OP? Can OP get some sort of restraining order against them? Because that is just not someone that you want in your life, is it? Hobo Gauntlet says, congratulations, it's hard, but you'll pull through it. Good job, I wish the best for you and your children. To which OP replies saying, thank you, it's been hard, but I know I've done the right thing. Decult says, thanks for the update, it sounds like this is as close to a happy ending as you're going to get. As far as the nasty messages go, you might want to think about getting a restraining order. That would also have the advantage of getting his behaviour on record before divorce proceedings begin. OP replies saying, yes, not the happiest, but I am happier. I couldn't bear the thought of staying with him for another year. Now I turn this one to you guys. What do you guys make of this situation? As I said, I think the update is a positive one, although it sounded like OP had a bit of a road ahead of them. This can only be a positive, right? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and we'll move on to another story. And our next story comes from Pixie Mixie, who says, I, 30 female, just learned my husband, 31 male, has feelings for my sister-in-law, 29 female, and hates my brother, 32 male. Hi Reddit, sorry if this ends up being a clusterfuck. I really need some advice. Throwaway account and names changed just in case. My sister-in-law, Kate. My brother, Kate's husband Charlie. My husband, Jack. I've been married to Jack for 4 years and we've been together since high school. Our marriage is pretty great and we have our ups and downs, but we're usually able to work through it and talk about our feelings like adults. We were just starting to discuss having children before this came up. Now things are a mess and I don't know what to do. Charlie and Kate have been married for 5 years and also have been together since high school. My brother and I have been extremely close since we were kids. He's always there for me and I love him with all my heart. Kate is a wonderful person and is one of my best friends. She's my family now too, and I love her to death. She's sweet, funny, and a great friend. Charlie and Kate have a great marriage, honestly even better than my own. They're a real team. They're always there for each other and you can tell that they really love each other. From what I know, they're currently trying to conceive. I'm so excited to be an aunt. We've all gotten along until now. This is the first time anything like this has happened. About 2 weeks ago, Charlie invited us over to have a few drinks and hang out at their place to celebrate Kate's birthday. It was going okay at first. We talked about having kids and our jobs and generally caught up. Jack ended up drinking way too much. He started flirting with Kate and she was obviously uncomfortable. Told Jack to stop it multiple times and tried to stay away from him. Charlie started getting irritated, rightly so. Jack was flirting with his wife and being a drunken idiot, and told Jack to stop, again, multiple times. I also tried to get Jack to knock it off and shut up, but he wouldn't, and I was honestly pissed off too. Jack got pissed when Charlie tried to intervene. He told Charlie how much he hated him and wished he was dead. Then went on to confess how much he loves Kate and wishes he would have ended up with her. Jack decided to try and kiss and touch Kate. She freaked out and Charlie was done. He told us both to get the fuck out. I dragged Jack out of there and I was shocked and disgusted at his behaviour. The next day, Jack told me he did have feelings for Kate and was resentful of Charlie because of it. He told me that he loved me and he would never cheat on me. He was drunk and what he did was a mistake. He apologised over and over again for his behaviour, promised me he loved me and wanted to be with me, etc. He apologised to Charlie and Kate for what happened, but they aren't happy. I'm still not sure how to feel. His behaviour was awful, inappropriate and borderline assault. It also makes me feel shitty that he hates my brother. I talked to Charlie the other day. He told me that he isn't comfortable having Jack around anymore, especially around Kate. Apparently, she's pretty shaken up by what's happened, the unwanted touching, attempted kiss and love confession, and incredibly uncomfortable around Jack. I understand completely, but now I'm stuck. I'm just angry, upset and unsure of what to do. I don't want my relationship with my brother and sister-in-law to be ruined because Jack was an arsehole. I don't know what to do about Jack's confession. It honestly makes me feel sick to my stomach. It all came out of nowhere. Everything was great before this. We were all friends. Now my husband apparently loves another woman and wishes my brother was dead. I want to salvage this because I do love Jack, I really do, but I have no idea where to start. I want to start to be a part of my future niece's and nephew's life. I want to be able to be around my brother and sister-in-law because they are wonderful people and I love them so much. It's all crashing down and I don't know how to handle it. Is there a way to work through this? What should I do? Can I salvage this? Perspective, advice, and opinions, please. Now, to me, he did this when he was drunk, which, is not acceptable in any way whatsoever. But then, the next morning, when he was sober, he said exactly the same thing, that he confessed his love for Kate. There's only one thing for this, I believe, and that is to get that divorce. Why would you want to be with someone who's confessing their love for someone else? It seems pretty clear-cut to me, unless I'm missing something here. And I'm not playing down that you've been together for 4 years and you obviously have a lot of feelings for this person, but you also say, your marriage is pretty great, but it's not as good as someone else's marriage, which worried me as well. Maybe it shouldn't have, but hey. A couple of comments on this one says, you really want to stay with a man who tried to force himself intimately on your brother's wife, told her in front of you and her husband that he's in love with her and wishes he wasn't with you, and told your brother he wants him dead. Come on, OP, have some self-respect. Oh my God says, you get divorced. He admitted while sober that he was in love with her. Love says, honestly, OP, I think this was a gift to you. You were both just talking about having children together. You were literally just saved from being attached to this asshole for the rest of your life through a child with him. You were spared, OP. You seriously need to talk to a lawyer and get a divorce in the works. I know you've been married for 4 years. You've been together since high school, but the length of a relationship is no reason to settle just because you are comfortable. You might try to justify it and say, well, he was drunk. Well, I say that's exactly the point. I'm not sure about anyone else, but alcohol and getting drunk makes things that are hard to say much, much easier for me. Liquid confidence, as they say. He got totally trashed and let his emotions, rage, jealousy, and desires spew out, but not just to you, to your brother and his wife. He practically assaulted your sister-in-law. He 100% completely betrayed you. He made an irreparable tear in his and your brother's relationship. Shit, he made an irreparable shitstorm between everyone in this. Honestly, OP. If you want to save your relationship with your brother and sister-in-law, you need to get rid of this fool. Sometimes there are scenarios that are worth the work and try to save a marriage and relationship, but this one screams divorce from every direction. You shouldn't settle. You shouldn't permanently damage yours and your brother's and your sister-in-law's relationship over this. Most importantly, you shouldn't stay with a man that will apparently love you second to your sister-in-law. And one more that says your husband has just blown apart your marriage and your family relationship, unless Charlie and Kate end up with amnesia. I can't imagine them ever comfortably interacting with him again, especially not in situations with alcohol. If you do choose to stay with him, you should prepare yourself for the fact that he will not be welcomed around them again. So now we're going to move on to the update to see what happens next. Update. I want to start off by thanking everyone for their advice, kind words, and even tough love. I've decided to end our marriage and get a divorce ASAP. It's heartbreaking and painful for me to do this, but honestly, I don't think I could live with knowing my husband loves another woman and assaulted her in front of me. The fact that this is my sister-in-law makes it even worse. I don't think we can come back from this, and I would always feel like I wasn't his first choice. Plus, he touched and kissed Kate without her consent, which is an awful thing to do by itself. I sat down and really thought about what happened and how it made me feel. It made me feel disgusted, hurt, and angry. It made me feel like an idiot. It broke my heart. I couldn't believe the man I loved, the man I had been with for almost a decade of my life, would betray me and hurt me like this. It almost doesn't feel real. To think we were going to have kids, to think I trusted him and gave him all the love I could. It fucking hurts. A lot of you suggested that maybe he married me so he could be close to Kate. We sat down last night, I showed him your comments and he broke down. He admitted to me that yes, he did marry me to be closer to her. It's always been her. From day one of our relationship, it's been a ploy to stay close to Kate. Not only is this devastating to me, but it's extremely creepy, and I feel bad that Kate ever had to be around Jack. His intentions were almost predatory. Who knows what he would have done to Kate if her husband and I hadn't been there to intervene. I honestly think he would have done some truly horrible things to her, given the chance. He begged me to stay. He promised he loved me. He could get over Kate. He wanted me. I was his soulmate. We were meant to be together. He would go to therapy to work on his issues and we would be okay. He was sobbing and begging, trying to convince me to stay. I wasn't hearing it. I'm done. He's a liar. He's been lying to me for years. He's creepy, horrible, and I can't live with him knowing what he did and how he truly feels. I called Charlie to talk to him about everything. Like always, he's here for me. He's incredibly pissed at Jack because of what Jack did to Kate. Kate is still shaken up and upset. She feels violated, and her trust in Jack, someone she considered her friend for years, has been destroyed. Charlie told me that if I had chosen to stay with Jack, it was very likely our relationship would have died right then and there. Charlie told me he refused to talk to anybody who believed what Jack did to Kate, assaulted her, was okay or forgivable, even if that somebody was me. He also thinks what Jack did to me for all these years is beyond cruel, and he's angry about that too. I still have to contact a lawyer and get things in order. It's only been a day since I've made my decision, but you were all so helpful to me. I can't begin to express how thankful I am for your comments. In the end, my brother and sister-in-law are the people that matter most to me. They're my real family, the people who love me, and they are here to support me through this decision. I'm young. There's still hope for me to find someone who sincerely loves me. There's still hope of starting a family. There's still time left for all of that. I'd rather take my chances of finding someone new than staying with Jack. Thank you again for everything. Editor Update 2. Thanks for the condolences and kind words. It really means a lot to me to address some concerns. I will be extra careful and keep an eye out for anything Jack tries to do. Like many of you have said, his obsession is unraveling. So he might do something drastic. I'm going to contact my lawyer ASAP to start seeing what I can do. Change all of my passwords, get my bank accounts in order, etc. I've also removed any information of my future whereabouts and plans, as some of you suggested. I'm going to book an appointment with a therapist. I feel like it would benefit me and help me work through this whole thing. Kate doesn't want to talk or interact with Jack, but she is thinking about getting a restraining order. Understandably, she doesn't feel safe around Jack at all and would rather have nothing to do with him. She's also going to be extra careful, since she's the person of Jack's obsession and he'll probably try contacting her or doing something crazy. Charlie is there to protect her. He's a former Marine at 6'3" and pretty dang intimidating. I'm sure they'll both be okay. We're all here for each other. Some people don't believe this is real because of my timeline. I said we've been together since high school in the last post, but then said almost a decade in this post. This was a mistake. I meant to type over a decade. I can't prove the validity of my story, so you have to take my word for it. I don't really feel the need to explain myself here. You either believe me or you don't. It's a bizarre situation. I can't explain Jack's behavior any better than you can. On the bright side, Charlie and Kate are still trying for a baby, so there's a pretty good chance I'll be an aunt in the near future. There's still hope for me to find the one. In the meantime, I'm going to focus on me and moving on from this whole thing. My wordy word, where do you go from that? Obviously the update is a positive update. Getting out of that situation was the right thing to do. You were always going to be second best in that situation, as we discovered. But to find out that all this time, everything was like a ploy to get to someone else is absolutely mind-blowing to me. How about you? What do you guys make of this situation? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. A huge thank you for joining me today and getting involved with the stories. At the very end of the video, there will be a playlist that scrolls through all the relationship or all the stories. There's a couple of playlists there. And, you know, just thank you for your love, your support, and your time towards the channel. It's absolutely amazing. Thank you so much, and I will see you in the next one. Take care, guys. Much love.